You just got home. You dropped your bag. You haven't even taken off your shoes yet, and he's already here, rubbing against your leg, figure eights, over and over. Face, cheek, side, tail, and around again. You think, he missed me. He's happy to see me. Probably hungry. Maybe hungry. But what he's doing right now, this isn't a greeting. This isn't asking for food. This is an inventory check. While you're standing at the door thinking it's adorable, your cat is methodically scanning you for foreign scents and simultaneously overwriting you with his own. You spent 8 hours in a world he doesn't control. You smelled like the street, strangers, other animals, unfamiliar places. To him, that's not the romance of adventure, that's a violation of chemical order. And he's fixing it, right now, on your leg. But here's what actually flips the whole picture. This isn't just about you, it's about him, about how his world is structured and where exactly you fit in it. There's one moment in this piece, number 5, after which you'll never look at those figure eights the same way. Because what he's doing isn't a gesture, it's a statement of ownership. And in that statement, you're not the owner. Number 1, the figure eight isn't a dance, it's a protocol. Let's start with the movement itself, because the shape of this behavior isn't random. The figure eight between your legs isn't chaotic rubbing. It's a sequence that plays out the same way in every cat. Face makes first contact with your leg, then cheek, then side, then tail runs the full length of your leg. Sometimes the cycle repeats several times in a row. Each part of that movement does a specific job. Face and cheek, delivery of pheromones from the facial glands. This is where the most active glands are, producing what researchers call F3 pheromones, the ones that mark an object as safe and belonging to the group. First contact is the most important. His cheek on your leg is a signature. Side, scent delivery through the sebaceous glands along the body. Less concentrated, but covering a larger surface area. This is background marking, not as precise as the facial contact, but it lays down a general chemical layer. Tail, the finishing touch. The base of the tail has a dense cluster of sweat and sebaceous glands with a high concentration of individual scent. The tail dragging along your leg is somewhere between a signature and a seal. 3 different glands, 3 different types of marking, one continuous movement. This isn't affection in the human sense. It's a procedure. Number 2, why your legs, not your hands, not your face? This is a question people rarely ask, and it has a very specific answer. Cats rub against legs, not hands or faces. This isn't an accident of anatomy. It's a choice. First reason, height. Your legs are the part of you that exists at cat level. When you're standing, your legs are the only part of you a cat can interact with without any effort on your part. Hands require bending down. Face requires crouching. Legs are always accessible, whether you're paying attention or not. Second reason, scent. Legs are the zone of maximum foreign scent accumulation. Shoes, floors, streets, other people's homes. Everything settles at the bottom. A cat conducting a chemical audit of where you've been starts exactly here. Rubbing your legs is simultaneously reading incoming data and writing over it. Third reason, stability. A leg is a solid vertical surface that can be rubbed against with pressure. Effective pheromone transfer requires actual contact with force. A light touch doesn't do it. Legs are physically ideal. And there's a fourth reason that almost never gets mentioned. Legs are the zone the cat marks not for you. You can't smell his scent on your leg. The marking is addressed to others, to any creature that ends up near you afterward. He's not flagging you as his for your benefit. He's doing it for everyone else's. Number 3, what he's actually feeling in that moment. Here's the mechanism that completely changes how this behavior reads. When your cat rubs against you, he's not just applying marking, he's simultaneously taking in information. A cat's sense of smell is tens of times more powerful than a human's. The vomeronasal organ, also called Jacobson's organ, located in the roof of the mouth, lets him analyze the chemical composition of scents with a precision no human can match. When his face makes contact with your leg, he's reading everything. Where you've been, who you were near, what animals were around, your current physical state. This isn't a metaphor. Your cat is literally reading your day off your leg. Here's what happens next. If the information matches what he knows, familiar scents, known places, no chemical alarm signals, his nervous system shifts into relaxation mode. If the information contains something unfamiliar, another animal, a new place, a stranger, the rubbing gets more intense. He's not just marking harder, he's working more because the task is bigger. How intensely he rubs your legs after you get home is a direct readout of how chemically compromised you came back from his perspective. The more intense the rubbing, the more correcting you needed. Number 4. The figure 8 as social contract. Here's something most people have never heard, and it explains why he makes a figure 8 instead of just rubbing the same side of your leg. The figure 8 between your legs is mutual marking. Your cat isn't only putting his scent on you. By passing between your legs in close contact, he's exposing his own side, the zone that carries his own scent profile. This is an exchange. In cat social communication, mutual scent marking is a sign of group acceptance. Cats who consider each other family do exactly this. One passes through, the other stays put, the scents blend. A shared group scent profile forms, a chemical marker for us. Every member uses this marker to identify who belongs. When your cat does figure 8s between your legs, he's including you in this protocol. He's creating a shared scent profile between the two of you, blending your scent and his into a single signature. You're not just marked as his property, you've been accepted into the group. On cat terms, without being asked, without the option to decline. The document is signed. In it, your family. Number 5. You thought you were the owner. Here's what he thinks. This is the moment I mentioned up front. In human logic, you're the owner. You pay the rent, you buy the food, you make the decisions. In cat chemical logic, it's a little different. The apartment is marked with his pheromones. Every corner, every table leg, every door frame, his signature. You are also marked with his pheromones, regularly, every time you come home. From the perspective of feline territorial chemistry, this is his apartment, and you are one of the objects on his map that regularly needs a marking update. But here's the nuance that changes the whole picture. The marking he puts on you is not the same as property marking. The pheromones applied to living beings are chemically different from the ones used on furniture and walls. Different fraction, different chemical profile, different message. On the furniture it says, "This is my territory." On you it says, "This is mine." The difference between possession and belonging. The couch is a thing, you are his. In his coordinate system, those are not the same, and the second is significantly higher. Number 6. Why he does it every single time you come home. While you're home, your chemical profile is stable. The marking holds, no urgency. When you leave, you cross the perimeter. You come back as foreign, and he restores order. Although, it's also a greeting, just in a different language. Number 7. When he rubs against strangers. What that means. This case deserves its own section, because it changes how you read everything else. Sometimes a cat rubs against a guest, someone he's never met, and people interpret this as friendly cat or he likes you. That's not quite right. When a cat rubs against a stranger, he's not welcoming them into the family. He's marking a source of unfamiliar scent to bring it under control. This is neutralizing chemical uncertainty. The stranger smells like unknown. That's a variable in the apartment's chemical equation. By applying his scent, the cat moves the stranger from unknown to identified. This isn't hospitality. It's an audit. A cat who rubs against every guest isn't more sociable than one who hides. He's just solving the problem of unfamiliar scents with an active approach rather than avoidance. The difference between how he rubs you, his person, versus a guest: frequency, intensity, and contact zones. You get remarked regularly and thoroughly. A guest gets one pass, enough for identification. You can feel the difference if you're watching. Number 8. 2 things people get wrong. First, he rubs against my legs because he's hungry and asking for food. Partly true. A hungry cat can absolutely use this behavior to get your attention around feeding time. But leg rubbing at the door when you get home, that's not a food request. It happens before he goes near his bowl, and it doesn't depend on what time it is. Read the context. Rubbing at the door the second you walk in, that's marking. Rubbing at the bowl at dinner time, that's a different conversation. Second, the more intense the rubbing, the more he loves you. Not exactly. Intensity is tied to the degree of chemical mismatch, not the depth of attachment. Intense rubbing means either you brought a lot of outside scent home, or his baseline anxiety is elevated. Slow, unhurried rubbing means everything's fine and he's just refreshing the marks. Number 9. How to read this behavior as an indicator. Now the practical part, because this behavior is telling you something specific, if you know how to listen. Rubs immediately at the door, intensely, won't let you go. You were gone a long time or came back with a lot of new scents. Everything's fine, just a big workload. Rubs once, lazily, and walks away. Short absence, minimal outside scent, easy task. He just refreshed the marks as routine. Doesn't rub at all when he used to every time. Something has changed. Your scent, your state, the environment. This is a signal worth noticing. Rubs intensely for a long time even after you've been home a while. Elevated anxiety. Something in the apartment or outside is unsettling him. He's reinforcing the marking as a response to a perceived threat. Started rubbing against you in places or at times when he never did before. Something has shifted in how he relates to you or to the space. Often a sign the bond is strengthening, or that he needs more stability right now. Next time he comes to the door and starts the figure 8, you didn't just come home, you came back to his territory, and he's restoring order, writing you back in, his, smelling right, in place. This isn't a greeting, this is welcome home, in his language. Write in the comments, does your cat rub against your leg specifically when you get home, or at random times throughout the day? And does he do the full figure 8 or just rub from one side? Subscribe. Here we explain what your cat does every day that you've always written off as a cute habit. Figure 8. Signature. His.